Okay, so I want to get to like I feel like they're kind of dissing Trae Young right now. I feel like Trae Young is being overlooked and underrated because when you look at Trae Young's stats and you look at his production and his future going forward, it's like the Atlanta Hawks are a terrible team. So he's getting a little underrated. They're trying to debate if Trae Young is an all-star. And I'm like, that's absolutely ridiculous. Of course he's an all-star. Just because the Hawks are the worst team in the East or one of the worst teams in the East doesn't mean that he's not an all-star. Their team is garbage. Look at his stats. Like for me, when I look at him and Luka Doncic, I'm like, Luka Doncic has a way better supporting cast and a way better coach, a way better system for him to expand his game and show his talent. So Luka Doncic is getting all the shine in the world right now, which he deserves. He's a good fucking player. But people like Trae Young are being overlooked because their situation and their team. When they got traded initially at the draft, I felt like that was kind of like a fair trade. They kind of were a similar level players. Like Luka Doncic, I'll give Luka Doncic the edge clearly because he's taller, he's more effective, he's more efficient, he's a more rounded player. But Trae Young's a great shooter, a great passer, a great facilitator of the basketball, a great floor general. But two different styles of play, two different players. Nonetheless, I feel like I hate using that stupid fucking word. I feel like he's being overlooked right now. They're actually having a debate if he should be an all-star. So it's like the fans are voting him as an all-star, but it's like the players and the coaches, or the coaches might feel differently, or the media and the coaches feel differently. And I feel like that's ridiculous. For them to actually have the debate, to me, is ridiculous. I'm going to pull up Trae Young's stats right now because for me, Trae Young, let's go stats. Okay, so he's averaging 29 points per game, 8.5 rebounds, shooting 44% from the field. How is that not an all-star? I don't care about his team record. Last time I checked, we've seen plenty all-stars on terrible teams. Last year, Anthony Davis's Pelicans were where? Anthony Davis is obviously still an all-star. It's because he's young and up-and-coming that they're not recognizing his talent, but clearly he's an all-star at this point. I feel like this is not even a debate. Like, what are we even talking about? Who the fuck is in the East? Who are the East point guards for someone to have a debate of Trae Young being an all-star or an all-star starter? You have Kyrie Irving, who played half the season, not even half the season so far. That's it in the East that's better than Joel. Kemba Walker, Kyrie Irving, Trae Young. Those are your guards in the East. Who are you going to put ahead of them? Van Vliet, Kyle Lowry? Like, they're not better than Trae Young. You kidding me? So it's like, I don't even know what the debate is. What are we really talking about? Are we only going to have two guards, 2 point guards? Just Kyrie and Kemba, that's it? And Kyrie didn't even play that much, so I'm not putting them ahead of Trae Young. I'm putting Trae Young and Kemba as the point guards. Well, Kyrie can still obviously be there, but the starting two are the first two because they're not going to start two. They're going to have a shooting guard, obviously. The East is so trash, they're going to have to do what they did last year and the year before. They're going to have a draft and people pick teams because we're not going to have an East versus West. What do we want to see, a slapping? That's not going to be fair. Nothing to watch there. NBA ratings are down, but it's like, look who's injured. You have Zion, who hasn't played a single game. KD, who's been injured from the finals. Steph, been out from beginning of the season. Kyrie's been missed a lot of games. You have a lot of the stars, a lot of the more exciting players injured. It's like, I don't know how people expect the ratings to be up. And plus, people are watching a lot of this shit on mobile. They have to make that change the same way the Zone made their change for their pay-per-view consumptions for their app. So it's like, you got to make a change in the way you consume sports because everybody's still watching. The ratings are down, but nobody's watching this shit live on TV. Everyone's watching highlight packages and shit on the internet. So they got to find a way to monetize that and change their model going forward because the NBA targets the youth, but the youth don't really consume it in the traditional way of media. The media has to catch up to the current day. The live ticket sales are always going to be there. The stadiums are still going to sell out. And that's not going to be down. It's not down this year either, but it's just the TV numbers. But that's to be expected when Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are sitting out on national televised games. So it's like clearly your ratings are going to be down with certain players injured, load management, and a lot of the best players are in the West, not in the East. So that also creates a problem when it comes to facilitating those type of numbers and those type of ratings. Not much in this episode. I thought I would have to squeeze a lot of topics in a short period of time, but not a lot in this episode. We got a lot done recently. I had King Clark and E West on. If you haven't checked out that episode, we have a bunch of clips and the episode out, and also a bonus episode with those guys as well. So if you haven't checked that out yet, make sure you go back and check that out. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel. Share the clips, share the ones that you fucks with. Help expand the channel if you're a subscriber and you fucks with the page and you want to see this grow and get better, because the more the more the channel does, the more success the page does, the more success the channel does, the better the entertainment gets, the more guests I can have, the more I can expand, the more time and energy I can put into the podcast. I've already taken more time and more energy as soon as I got to a certain threshold, but as it keeps growing, I'll keep supplying with more content and better episodes. So make sure you subscribe, like, share, and yeah. Blunt Talk with LT. Yep.